Hey students, today we are going to go over lesson 9.4 and it has to do with range and IQR. IQR stands for interquartile range. So we'll give you some definitions and explain how to find the range and the IQR of a set of data. First of all, let's take a look at this Bellwork. I have a quick check here, and I think that this will give you a good intro to range and to IQR today. So let's go over this. So number one says the table shows the lengths of Burmese pythons captured for a study. So it wants us to find and interpret the range of their lengths. So for our purposes, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Move that out of the way. Okay, so the first thing I've been teaching this, you need to put your data in order from least to greatest. That is just a good practice to get into, because most of the time you have to do it anyway. So here we go. We're going to put these in order from least to greatest. So here I go. I am going to look at, okay, so 5 is my smallest number. So 5, cross it off. Then our next number that we would run into is 6 1/4. Yeah, some of these have decimals, and that's okay. Then it looks like we run into 8. Then 10, then 11, then 12 and a half, then it looks like 14, then it looks like 15 and a half, then 16 1/4, and then we have 18 and a half. So we now have those numbers in order from least to greatest. So, we got the least over here, greatest over here. It's pretty simple to find the range. So to find the range of this data, we are going to simply take the largest number. So I'm going to write that down, 18 and a half. And we are going to subtract the smallest number, 5. And you have to put it in the right place because it goes right there. You can put a 0.0 if you want to. So 5 minus 0 is 5, 8 minus, that's 3, and then 1 minus nothing is 1. So we have a range of 13 and a half. What that is saying is that there, from here to here, it's 13 and a half. So that's the range of their lengths, is 13 and a half. And it's really just a measure of the maximum number minus the minimum number. And that is just telling you the range of the data. So 13 and a half feet. Let's go down to number 2 now. Number 2 says, find the range and the interquartile range of the data. So this one's going to take a little bit more because it's asking us to do 2 different things here. But we don't have to panic. We're going to walk you through it. So first thing that you always do, put the data in order from least to greatest. So it looks like 25. It's our least number. Then it looks like we don't have any other 20s. So the next one we're going to run into is a 39. And we have a lot in the 40s. So we have to be a little bit careful. 43. Then we have a 44. Then we have a 45. Then we have a 48. And then we have a 57. Okay, least to greatest. Now, range should be pretty simple because we just did it. Did another example with it. So to find the range, remember, we are going to just simply take the largest number and we'll subtract the smallest number. That's 2, that's 3, so we have 32 is our range. Now, interquartile range, now that's why I have this little quarter up here. You can see my quarter. Quartile means a quarter of something. So we're talking about, we're splitting this data right here into quarters, into 4 equal representations of the data. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the median. So let's see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So one number is going to be in the middle. So I'm just going to circle that middle number right now, or put a box around it actually. That is our median. Okay? So when you have a number that is in the middle, we're going to just say, you know what? For right now, we don't care about you. We are going to we're just going to say it doesn't exist. Okay? Now we have some other numbers on this side. So we've now split this into half. So if you're thinking about money-wise, 50 cents, right? So we need to find the quarter. So to do that, we take what's left on this side of the median. So we're going to find Q1, which is the first quarter. And again, we find the median of this part, and that would be this. That would be Q1. So I am going to get out my pen, and I'm going to get a different color here and go like this, then shade that in. So now we have Q1. So I'm just going to go, you know what? I have Q1 right there. That's the first quartile. Okay, so right here, this side of the data is the first quartile. So, hi, we found you. This right here that we already have would be the Q2. And now we do the same thing over here. We go, oh, this is the middle of that. Whoop, wrong color. That right there is the Q3. So now we've split this into 4 separate sets. I know it says 3 there, but 4 would be over here. 4 would be the total. So to find the IQR, it's pretty simple too. Once you have split this into quarters, we're going to simply take Q3 and subtract Q1. So we have Q3 right here. So we're going to go 48 minus Q1. We're going to borrow 8, 9, that's 9, and that would be it, because that would have been a 3 now. So 9, our IQR, our interquartile range, is 9. So what is that saying? Why do we need to know our interquartile range? Well, an interquartile range says that on average, there's 9 in each quarter. So that's really what it's telling us. Again, when you hear the word quartile, think quarters. Okay, let's move on. I thought it would be helpful to kind of have some vocabulary here, some of the words that you might get hung up on. So quartile, and I talked about this in the previous slide, the data is split into 4 groups. That's what a quartile is. A range is the maximum to minimum the data covers. So remember to find that. You take the maximum number, subtract the minimum number, and that gives you the range. Again, if you're finding an IQR, interquartile range, you're going to split your data into 4 groups, equal groups. So you find the median, then you find the median of the lower, and then find the median of the upper. That gives you your Q3. Q3 minus Q1 gives you your interquartile range. Now we're going to play with that just a little bit on these next slides that we're going through. All right, so we are looking at your practice page here. So we're going to go through this practice nice and easy, and then it will help you to be able to do your assignment. So first things first, it says find the range of the data. So this data is not in order, and really, if you didn't want to find the range, do you really have to put it in order from least to greatest? No. So on this one, we're just going to go, okay, what's the highest number? And I'm looking at that data, and it looks like 33 is my highest. What is the lowest number? It looks like 6. So we're going to go 33 minus 6. We get 27 is the range. Okay, doing it over here, we have some bigger numbers here, and it looks like we have a couple of 76s that are the lowest number. So there's a 76. It doesn't matter if there's duplicates of it. It's 76. And it looks like our biggest number is 92. So we're going to go 92 minus 76 is 16 is our range. So finding the range, pretty simple stuff. Now, it wants us to, on number 3, find the median, the first quartile, the third quartile, and the interquartile range. So let's do that. Again, putting your data in order from least to greatest is very, very important here. So I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to do it right here next to it. I've got 16. Then it looks like we have a 23. Then it looks like we have 25. Then 27. Then 29. Then 33. And then 43. Just to check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've done it correctly. Let's find the median of this set of data. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 27 is my median. And you can go, you know what? That's Q2. So now let's look at the bottom part of our data. And that's that 16, that 23, and the 25. Well, what's the median of that set of data? Well, 23 is. So using a different color, I'm going to go like that. That is my Q1. And then let's look at the upper half of the data. So we're looking at 29, 33, and 43. Well, there's the median. And we are going to go like that. And that is Q3. So we've identified the Q1, the Q2, and the Q3. So now to find the interquartile range, remember from what we did earlier, we're going to go Q3 minus Q1. So we're going to go 33 minus 23, which is 10. So my IQR is 10. My Q1 is 23. My Q2 is 27, and my Q3 is 33. So, is that hard? I don't know if you could call it hard, but maybe it just takes time, and you have to have some focus here. All right, let's try it again. Let's put this data in order from least to greatest. So it looks like my first number is 6. Then it looks like I'm going to run into 15. Then it looks like 16. Then 17. Then 19. Then we have 21. 22. 28 and 33. Okay, I like to do this also. I like to see how many data points I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's an odd amount. So I'm going to just have to count in 4 on each side. So I'm going to go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 19 is my, oh, let's use a different color so we can get it. 19 is my median, and your median is also your Q2. So let's look at that bottom half of the data now. Oh, look at this. Do you guys see that we have an even amount of numbers right here? So if I count 2 in this, it's right there. So that would be the median? Well, there's no number right there in the middle. Well, what's halfway in between 15 and 16? That's right. We would have 15 and a half. Oh, well, I want to do that in a different place, sorry. I'm going to put it down here. 15 and a half. That is my Q1. So if there's not a number there, you find the number that's in the middle. Well, what if it wasn't, if it was like 15 and then 18? Well, you would add those two together and then divide by 2, and it would give you that. So playing on some stuff that we've already talked about. Let's do the other quartile now. Quartile 3 would be right here, and this is a good example. See, I have 22 and 28. Well, what's halfway in between 22 and 28? Well, this is how you do it. You go 22 plus 28, which is going to give me 50, and then I divide by 2, and that gives me 25. So there is my Q3. So now we can find the interquartile range by going Q3 minus Q1, and that is 25 minus 15 and a half. Okay, so we're going to have to borrow here, and that's okay. We can do that. That is 9 and a half. So our IQR is 9 and a half. All right, let's try one more of these. Like I said, it's not that hard. It's just a matter of, okay, I've got to find my quartiles, and then I have to do some subtraction. But if you're not focused, if you're trying to talk to somebody and you're trying to, instead of focused on what you're doing, you can make some little mistakes. And I see students all the time make mistakes in putting the numbers in order from least to greatest. That's where I see a lot of mistakes. So you kind of have to be focused to be able to do this correctly. So I'm going to look at my set of data on this last one, and it looks like 157 is my smallest number. Then it looks like I get into 181 is my second set of data. Then my third number looks like 183. No, then we have a 189. Then we have a 190. Then it looks like 203. 204, and then 212. And just to double check, I like to go, okay, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So that lets me know that I didn't make any mistakes because I have the same amount of numbers represented. All right, so let's find the first thing that we want to do is we want to find the middle number. So that middle number, we're going to count, and it's just finding the median. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. It's even. So we're going to go over 4, over 4. It's in between. It's one of those weird ones where it's in between. What number is in between 189 and 190? Well, if you can see 189 and a half or 189.5, that's great. But if you can't see that in your head, you have to add those two numbers together. 189, 190, add them together, then divide that number by 2. But I can see it, so I'm going to go, that is 189 and a half. That is my Q2. So right there, I know that I have my Q2, so I'm just going to put Q2 there so I know. Then we look at the lower half of the data. We have 4 numbers, and we have it's right here in the middle. What's the number in between 181 and 183? It's 182. So I'm looking at Q1 right there. Look at the upper part of my data. I've got 4 numbers again. I can see that that's the middle, so it's going to be 203 and a half, and that is Q3. So remember, we're looking for the interquartile range, so we go Q3 minus Q1. So we're going to go 203 and a half minus 182. The other big mistake I see 6th graders make here is that they forget the decimal and they put the numbers in the wrong place when they're subtracting. So you got to be careful of that. So that would be 5, that would be 1, borrow, we get 2, we get 21 and a half. That is our IQR, interquartile range. All right, guys, let's take a look at your assignment. All right, I'm looking at your assignment here, and it is basically the same stuff that we've been talking about. You're going to be finding the range, and you're going to see what they did wrong here. There's going to be a mistake on number 2. This one, you're finding the median. So the median, the first quartile, the third quartile, and the interquartile range, the stuff that we just did. Now down here, the data is kind of represented a little bit differently. It is actually in a table, but that's still the same. You're going to put these numbers in from least to greatest, and you're going to find the range. You're going to find the interquartile range. And this one right here, the table shows the ages of automobiles. The range, it gives you the range, is 12. So it wants you to find what that missing number is right there. So put your data in order from least to greatest of what you have. And then what number do you have to make it so the range is 12? So a number that's your upper number minus your lower number that equals 12. And then find the interquartile range of that data. Okay? So pretty basic stuff. Try that out. See if you can figure it out. And good luck. If you need help, as always, ask your teacher.